and heat controls. If you will just fix it right and have plenty of hot coals, that's what you need. You can control it by pulling your stuff out here on the hearth. That's where you cook it, but you have your coals real hot. Well, I'm cooking cornbread, and it comes from the farm, ground, made. And then my sweet potatoes, I raised them on the farm. And I boiled them and then put sugar on them and butter and baked them. And my dumplings, I go raise the hen, and cut her head off with an axe, pick the feathers off and swings the hairs off, put her in the pot and boiled her. And I dropped my dumplings in. I made my dough, rolled it out, cut it in pieces and dropped them in. And my beans, I raise them in the garden, bring them out, string them, hang them on the wall and dry them. Then I soak them overnight and take my fatback meat, which we raise, and put them in the pot, and I boil them about 4 hours or they get tender. So then I have hominy, which we grow the corn, and I take the drip line out of the ashes I burn in the stove and skin these skins off. It takes several washings. And when I get that done, then I can can it or what for the winter. I guess he'd run me off if I didn't have beans about every day. Beans or, he don't like peas too good. So I'll just have to say we have to have beans about every day. Beans and potatoes is the main thing on the farm. If you ain't got that, well, you might have trouble. So then I have fruitcake, which I bake by my old recipe I always used. Gingerbread and dried apples that I dry myself on the farm. All of it's fixed there. I raise the pickles in the garden, bring them in, onions and cucumbers, pepper. And I slice them, put a cup of sugar and a cup of vinegar. And just bring them to a boil, and they're ready. Only things I have to buy from the store is coffee, salt, and sugar, spices sometimes. I go to the mountain and dig my herbs, what I don't grow in the little patches. I grow golden seal, and the other just grows up in the hollow, and I go get it. That's one thing, we've always had good stomachs. I think it's reason because we've been on the farm and raised it on the farm and cooked it and eat it there. I really think it's healthier that way. They never fail to eat. Everything is put on the table and nothing hurts him. You don't have to be a bit particular how you cook anything. Only just keep plenty of it cooked, especially cake. He eats his cake every time he comes through the kitchen. We have meat 3 times a day, most of the time. Of course, we don't have wild meat every day, but when it's good, we do. We have groundhog and squirrel and rabbit and pheasant and partridge or quail, whatever they call them, fish. Well, we never did have too much bear meat. We have a rest more of deer meat, but the bears somehow runs too fast. It's real good, bear meat is awfully good. Now, groundhogs, you get them out of, they go to eating roasting your corn in the fall. In the spring, they're not good because they eat too much green stuff. But I have people to come to my house to get me to can for them, cook for them, and you can't learn them how. That's what gets me. They just don't want to learn, I guess. They just want you to do it for them. Some people you can learn how to do things, which I'd love to, and can. But people these days just don't seem to care. Something, I don't know why. They think it's too much, I think, now. The young people would rather just go to the store and buy something, make a sandwich, than to get out there in the garden and pick it. And I've had a lot of people that I've made garden stuff and offered gifts to, and they would not put it up. They just, I don't know, people are growing up today ain't interested like the old people was. They don't want to do it. I don't think I'd like what they do. They might not like what I do.